guys are doing well. So continuing from where we left off, we were with we had studied some conditionals, right? So let's yeah. So we were with the first thing that we studied was um about primitives, that the value is passed, and then there are different sizes because for memory optimization, and this is statically typed. And then and then we saw about um, if else. So if else is basically a conditional. The so let's like just have the syntax written. So if this is, and then we saw that anything written inside curly braces is called as a statement. And then we said so then we were trying to have play with the flow. We were doing something called as flow control. So then in that, first thing was if else. So the syntax was if condition, and then we have something, then we have the else. Again we have statements written inside curly braces. If there is only one statement, then there is no need for curly braces, you can directly mention it. So then we have something called as switch. Switch case, again it's a type of conditional, but then the thing is inside switch it should evaluate to an expression, and then the cases which match that expression evaluation, or in other words the cases which match the return value from that expression is then evaluated. The statements written below that will be evaluated again. So this has like default, so this has fall through. So like if one case is match and we have multiple cases beneath it, although matched cases will run. Then next thing that we were talking about is after fall through, we were so after switch case we studied about iterations, right? What if you want to do something repeatedly? The first thing was do while. So the first iteration is done and then checked, like it will run for all cases, and then checked for remaining. After that, we studied about while again. We should have a condition. Remember, infinite loops are bad. The processor might run out of memory and it might give you a stack overflow or something like that. Then we had for. So you were saying it's initialization condition and then expression. So this is how and then increment slash. So either you I mean this is how the for loop is. Then after for also remember the initialization and increment decrement are optional. There are certain things which are optional. I guess it's increment and decrement. The initialization and then okay. Another popular form is for loop. Excel that counting. Initialization section can declare initialize variables. You can declare and the scope is limited to that block, and then evaluated, and the next round begins. Then the if you use the condition clause, now let's see what can be you might want to do there are certain conditions that are not mandatory, right? There is another version that is for iterable. Now, what is an iterable? We will have to study further. We'll see there when we. Um, okay, so no. So let's. I guess we can get that by OpenAI. Wait. Chrome. And then just. So then you go OpenAI and then. Which is mandatory in a for loop in. I guess if we just put an empty brace. Okay, there is no specific element called no. Initialization is mandatory and condition is mandatory. The increment can. So all of these are mandatory. Okay, so mandatory. So yeah, conditional is mandatory, and both the update and initialization can be optional. Because if you don't have a condition, then it might be an infinite loop, and we don't want to. And then next thing is talking about break. Break will break the, as the name suggests, as we used it in switch, it will break the current execution and come out. You just break it. Continue will skip the statements written below it and go to the next iteration. So break is come out of the block or break out, more simpler terms. Then in continue is statements below continue will not work. And we will move to next. Let's this is let's have it. We will move to next iteration. It's the name as the result. Then okay, now unreachable. On a final note, we should also mention that Java compiler flags unreachable. That means, okay, so what is unreachable? Remember, this condition will always. Oh, this is something like a. I mean, most IDs have this, but I'm just going to say. So if I have one, that's why I don't have. If one, so one less than two is always, this returns a boolean, right? And then we have statements. So we say sys out, and now we are checking for unreachable. Then we come down to okay, now if I have an else block over here, and this sys out might give an error. So now it should say, oh, see, it's already started. Let's have a parenthesis. Let's unexpected end of comment. Where is this? Yeah, just remove it for the time being. Okay, so the value of the local variable. Oh, it's not giving any error because yeah. So now if you say let's have this size a bit bigger. Yeah, And now see here I'm getting something. So this is dead code. No problems. This is dead code, right? This wastage of lines. That will never ever work. So that's bad programming, I would say. You have to correct an HTML errors before you configure the compilation. So you'll get a compile time error. On the rare occasions, compiler will uncover a fault logic. Now an expression is basically something that gives a result. The value of an expression can be new. It can be anything. Void, declare type. The compiler knows the type of an expression the value produced at a runtime will either have its type or reference type. Okay, now we have seen expressions already. Now assignment operators. Now using operations, we can operate on expressions. I mean, precedence is same, left to right. Okay, so these are all possible operators. You have a post increment and decrement. Then you have arithmetic, plus minus, bitwise. Then we have logical. Then it's basically type. This is going to do the typecasting. Then we have arithmetic, modulo. This is multiplication. Mod, and this is modulo always gives the remainder. Uh, this is division. Oh, sorry, this is mod, and this is division. Then we have plus minus, again addition, subtraction, string concatenation. For strings it does. Then we have left shift, right shift, right shift. Oh, this is basically whether you want to preserve the sign and something like that. Smaller, greater than, equal to, instance of, equal to, not equal to. Okay, now so there are two ways in this. I can, so for primitive it only will check equality and inequality of the value, but for reference types it will check whether they are pointing to the same reference and equality. Then we have bitwise and. Then we have boolean. Oh, boolean and is same. Oh, I just, this shouldn't be double. Oh, so it's over here. What is this then? This some mistake. I don't know. Bitwise XOR, boolean XOR. Then we have bitwise OR, boolean. Then we have conditional ternary operator, anything. Then we have assignment. So this is now like for every operator I'm going to check. Now null volume. The expression null can be assigned to a reference. Now none values here will mean no reference. Null reference cannot be used to reference anything, and attempting to do will generate a null pointer. We'll see what that null pointer is. Now variable access for OOPs will be using dot, else you can, there is no, just write the name. So method invocation is using parentheses. Again we'll see what is the difference between method and the function. Now statements, expressions, and so this is like algorithms is basically, so to solve a problem you need to write a flow of code, right? So that procedure is called as an algorithm. Expressions, again they return values, and statements are anything that is written inside a curly braces. Okay, now object creation. So how to create an object? We use a new word. Now what happens when we do that? We'll start that with. Then again garbage collects the instance of. Now it determines the type of an object and runtime. If the object is, we'll see again this instance of, it's related to something else. Okay, now arrays. Now even arrays are objects and they hold a collection of elements. Now here we have homogeneous, there is no heterogeneous arrays. Other languages you can have heterogeneous. Okay, so now the way we, okay, array is a special type of object that can hold ordered collection of elements. Type of elements of the array is called base type. Number of elements at all is a fixed type code called length. Java supports arrays of all primitive types. So you can have primitive arrays. So arrays are two types. One is depending upon what it stores. It can be either reference type or it can be primitive. See, if it's storing only primitives, then it's primitive. To create an array with a base type of byte, you just put the type, then byte, and then uh, square braces. Now square braces basically indicate it's an array, and then if you have a string, you write string and put a square. So you're saying type, byte, and like if you have done C programming, the basic syntax of arrays should look familiar. You create an array of specified length and access elements using the index operator. Unlike those language in Java, our arrays in Java are true first class objects. Array is an instance of a special Java array class and has a corresponding type. This means that to use an array with any new other object, you first declare a variable of appropriate type and then use new operator to create. So we'll see what's this. So he's saying array is a first class citizen. Java implicitly creates an array class type for whenever we declare a new array of type. It's not necessary to know about the process in order to use the arrays, but will help understanding the structure. Oh, let's clear the confusion. It's is array in is it a first class citizen? Okay, no arrays in. Okay, let's see. In Java's arrays are not, but so it's an object. He's saying, but it's an array of. So when arrays are objects, they are different from other types of objects. They are not fully first class. They don't support same level of flexibility like other objects, but they are special objects, you can say, not exactly first class. They are instances of, let's see, this is a java.lang. We'll see what this is. They can be passed around objects and then essentially storing collections of data. So they are not considered true, but then one is fixed size and dynamic. However, they are close to being first class objects. They are very close. They are objects in Java. Like they are not not do not have all the properties of first class citizen, but they have some properties of a first class. So now let's just square brackets. Then we have get set. Okay, Java produces the corresponding special. Now array types. Oh, so is mentioning the size of array important? What if we mention you can use a new operator to create an array after the new operator? So the way is created is using new. Then we need to specify. Is specifying the size mandatory? Can we not? Yeah, so arrays are a fixed type. So arrays in Java are so like fixed size. I mean fixed size, not type. Yes, in Java. Okay, so let's write something about arrays. So if you go down, arrays in Java are not fully first class. They are special objects, you can say. And next thing that we can say about arrays is size has to be mentioned. Created using new keyword. And so now once we come here, this isn't array okay, so now create array creation. Now you use the new operator to create an instance of an array. After the new operator, we specify the base time of the array and its length with the bracketed integer expression. You can use the syntax to create array instances with actual storage for a recently declared variable. Null expressions are allowed. We can even do a little. Okay, so inside the brackets we will be doing some kind of. So the way to create an array is Okay, so first you mention so you assign it to a variable. So let's assign array, and then we do array of integer. So you do, then you mention new, and then you mention what is going to store. So it's going to be int, and then you have parenthesis, and then you mentioned size. Now you okay. Now this is array of integers cannot be returned to a variable. Why is this worrying? Array of ints is new. Yeah, this has to be. No, this has to be a type of array, right? So here, remember this is. I need to mention. This is an integer. So this variable is basically an holds the value that is an integer array. So like we said boolean, we need to mention this, and then this is the way to create. So it's a specialized object, not a fully first class citizen. Zero based index, no negative indexing here. That's okay. And then we can have arrays of references as well. So then we need to mention here, so that this is going to hold an array of references of what object. So that type has to be mentioned over here. Okay. Now objects, elements of an array objects are reference to the objects just like individual. So they point but do not contain the instances. Default value of each element is null. So since it has some first class citizens, it's not fully since it has some. So we do something called as default value is initialized. So now what happens when we, okay, now let's see, this is an important decision that can cause confusion within the languages. An act of arrays some the same as selecting, because this is only reference. In Java, newly allocated array objects contains only the reference variable such with each with the value. Now let's not that's not to say that there is no memory associated with an empty array. Memory is needed to hold the references. The empty slots in the array are represented. So this is when you have a reference to this. So this is a string array. Then I have mentioned that it stores 0, 1, 2, 3. So when you try accessing the third, it should give something. But let's do something. Now if I try accessing, let's do this out. Does it print something? Or does it say? Let's see if I. So right now it's saying array of integers is only read from never return. What do we? Yeah, it's saying a bit away. For unreachable. There is. So after my tires, it's one. So it's printing 0. Some. So depending on the initialization might vary, I feel. Yeah, so this is an array of zeros. Like if I have something like say string, and then if I change this to string, now let's see what we get. Yeah, so see, it's null, right? As I said initially, it's going to be null since it's an array of since array is an object of a special type. Okay, we can also use parentheses. Now how to assign variables. Okay, so now there are three ways. Now here, this is one way of creating an array. There's one more way where you say and so, without the new key, keyword as well. So now remember here, even though we haven't mentioned the size, uh, this will still work, right? Because we are allocating the values. I mean, so, so it's inferenced from here. This is going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3. So, oh yeah, this is the this is over here. So let's get rid of this. It's saying something like enrichable. So this is not working. We are having some problems over here. Let's do this. Okay, then no array object proper length is implicitly created and values of the comma separate are assigned to elements. Note that they did not use the new keyword of Java infers the result new from the assignment. That's what I said. Okay, now you can also write curly braces syntax is an expression. So using instead of having a number, you can have an expression. Expression will evaluate to a value, and the final value stored will be that value. Okay, so okay, now the following declaration and installations are even you can have so you can even say it. So the size is not necessary to mention when you have specifically initialized it. For example, if I say this is a string and then I say now I say this is so now this is a keyword don't need to have. So when you do this, there's no yeah at the end. So there is no specific like I mean even if you mention since it's a special type of an object, it will have a default value. So then it's type info. Okay. No. Yeah. So if you try to add something which is, then we'll get array index out of bounds. So now you can do copy. One important method is so we can have an anonymous arrays as well. Like you just created once. Okay. Yeah, the thing. Oh, so the moment that references because these are special objects, and so we will see that in garbage collection. Now we can have multi-dimensional array, an array. So for example, now this basically is going to this is saying Java suppose multi-dimensional arrays. You can create a multi-dimensional with C-like syntax using multiple bracket space for each dimension. Is also use the syntax to access elements. Here's an example. So just I have two dimensions, right? And then space dot. So this is like accessing the members. This is rook, knight, pawn, whatever. Chessboard. So this is a array of type chessboard. I don't know how it's defined. Okay, an array of chessboard arrays. The declaration implicitly creates a type chess piece, and then see how it is numbered. Like, the way is this for like how it's going how is multi-dimensional going to work. So I have 0 and then this is of 8 and then I want so this is so which is the row, which is the column. Let's see. So when it 2D arrays generate a 2D array of m rows and columns in uh, Okay, so when I say 3 and 4, this is the first is the rows and then comes the columns. This is more related to how array data structure is stored or how memory utilization happens in array. There are two ways, right? One is column and row. Yeah, this is a data structure thing, not a Java thing. So first is for row. This is 3 rows, and then you have it's hard or difficult to 3D array because then the other axis also comes into. The reason you might want to leave dimensions of an array unspecified is that you can store array. Okay, so what he's saying is, yeah, specialized objects, right? But what if I do not? Uh, okay, that's so. You can skip one of the dimensions. Yeah, so the rule is the first dimension has to be specified, the most significant dimension of the array. The first dimension has to be specified. You can leave this as empty. And then how the assignment takes place, because if you see, first rows are going to assign and then you are going to the way this thing is going to work is first you're going to uh, so the if you see the diagram, you see this is oh, this is columns, right? mm, these are both same, so why do we need the first dimension? What's the first, like, why do we need that? The first, like, why is it mandatory? Okay, so first the rows are getting allocated and then each row I have columns. uh, I believe it's something like that, the way it's working. When you create a 2D array, so what is then the second dimension is assigned for each row. So you have subarrays, like, so you create 3 rows and then you assign columns to each rows. So in memory, what happens is first you have this is one, this is the row, and then each row has columns. So that is how it is going to work. So you need the leftmost. Is this column wise memory or there is yeah. I guess this is, yeah, this is how we have. So in Java arrays are so when you, this is a part of data structure, right? You can either do the row wise or you can have a column wise. Because arrays are special, right? So it's going to, so like column. Yeah, so in certain languages like it's called, sorry, it's called as column major and row major. There are two types how the arrays work. So one is row major and one is column major. We have row major in Java, so first we'll be generating the rows and then the columns. This is how memory gets. This is data structure part, not like this is studying array as a data structure and then trying to evaluate its memory. Okay. Now types and classes and arrays. Oh, Java has a wide variety of storing information. These are all homogeneous. So what I mean, implement Euclid's algorithm as a full class named Euclid. Recall the basics of algorithm. Okay, try creating the triangular array from a previous section into a simpler class or JSON. Here's one. Expand the code to print the contents on the screen. Basically, this has the output with the code. If you're a bit more challenged, oh, you can print this. This is very star pattern, or you can have. So you can divide this grid as two, right? It's rows and then columns. So by what is going to happen is first rows is going to get allocated. So first I need rows. So by yeah, so the way it will start printing is first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. So then I get first row, then I get sorry, then I come to second row, then I'll have two columns. So I'll print both one and two. This is row major thing, right? That's you can. It's a very easy code. Nothing. It's not difficult. That's so you split this into rows and columns. So then maybe where is our main? So you come here. Okay, so let's tab it, and then so this is the way it's going to work is for entire and so many rows we have 1 2 3 4 5 int I equal to 0 till I is, remember first is going to be salsa list, let I less than 5, then do I plus plus, then I have, then I say for. Now this is another variable j, but it start from I because we need 0 to be printed, and we say till. So remember, so in second row we only want 1 and 2. How is that going to work? Also, this is 0 1, right? So 1 and 2. That's it. So I say little j is less than I, do then do j plus plus, and then come here, we'll do this out. Let's print j, and then so, and then we need something. What's the okay, so this is not colon, this is what I was colon. And now we need to go to the next line, right? So this is out. I guess we can do, we say just move the cursor to the next line. So let's run and see whether we are getting what we want. So it's 1. Why is this not printing? So I got null. I printed 1. We need, so j is equal to I. This is 0. Then this is not less than or, because 0 less than 0, that won't work. Let's see now. I have 1, I have 0, 1 2 3 4, but why isn't going? So this is 0, this is correct, this is 1. The next iteration I will be 1, so I'm going build 1. So start this j. Oh, let's start from 0, then let it start from I, because then what is going to happen is if it's this is 0, so I'm in the first row, then I have to print it from 1 or from 0. Then oh, now it should make some sense. But then when I come to the second row, now let's this be I itself. Now so 0, 0 is less than equal to I have 0. Then I do print comes out, then I make I 1, and I print I. One is some kind of value retaining has to happen. Not sure about this condition. There's to be 1 and 2 both. So the way this is 0, and then I come first row is done, then I come to second, and I need to go till 2. Or should I make it and I plus plus is going to happen, right? Then it just should I start it from -1? So I do increment print +1 every time. I don't know, I'm just saying it's -1. What's the output should be 0, then 1, 2. So is it like 1, 2, 3 is always starting? No. Previous value has to be retained somehow. Yeah, I started from -1. What is my, oh, there's an error. So it's saying let print the outer value. Is that is the first iteration? Such a 0. Oh, started from 0. What if I start this from 0? I was thinking. So when I say 0, then initially this is going to be, and then this. So what about the second iteration? Let's to move to the next line. Let's leave it empty. I have 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then I need it 0, 1, 2. This is less than 5, right? So what is this 1? What's getting there? So when I say 0, it's a 0, 0 less than 0, then where is this 1 coming from? I'm printing J. This is null. But this is, oh, it's is it above something? Am I print? Oh, okay. Let's clear out something. So 0, 0, and 2. But it's still not the way we want. But if I do, by default, does it push it on the next line? Oh, it's pushing it on the next line. 0 and 1. What's it's 0? I don't want this 0 to be present. So my output should be this. So my output has to be 0. The outer loop runs from 0 till 2. Why is this? Why is he saying? And what is? This is something like loop, right? Let's get the main out. And let's get this out. Let's see what we get here. If one lesson, there's some parenthesis missing, I guess. This is error illegal startup type public class. Oh, I didn't save it. 001 012. This is 0 and 012, right? I don't want 0 to be repeated. I want 0 1 2 1 2 3. I want this pattern. Yeah, so that's what I was. What's the. Okay, then now there is some local retention which is going to happen. So before the iteration starts, I'm just thinking we need to retain that value, right? So now this is initially it's going to be 0, so this is going to do then for the next iteration I just do count plus plus. This will remain inside the loop, right? Yeah. So yeah, 0. Oh, so now where am I? 0 0 1 2. Did I save it? Saved. So I have 0, but there's something which is. What are the problems? Okay, unexpected end of a comment. Ignore that thing. So if I say this is 0 0 1 0 1 2. Oh, why? But I'm printing count, right? So it should be the last. Okay, this is going to be 1. 1 is going to be retained. Oh, don't have this here. It's going to initialize it every time. I need. Let's keep this outside. 0 0 1 2 3 4 5. That's. Okay, 0 1 2. And then. Remember, this is still. Now, where am I going to increment that is. So if I say this is 0, come here, increment it to 1. So then it might come inside, say 1. The increment is important, I feel. 0 1 2. Still not. How many rows? 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, it's. Oh. But then that shouldn't make. Even this is. If it's for 3, it should still be. I have 0 1 2. See, so this is 0. This is okay. So this is initially when I is equal to j. And when I is j has to be 1 more. And then again this has to run. Has to go to 0 to in 1, right? So I less than j. That condition is true. So I have 0. But then this is getting initialized to 0 again. So this is post decrement, and let's do count as Let's keep it simple though. So if we say this is first is 0, first is correct. And then when I come to second, I have 1, 2. Now then this I is 0 and 1. Is he printing I? What if this is say -1? Then if I do print 0, increment this I, and change this to less than. But the scope has to be maintained. This 2 and this 2 has to match, right? But his loop is printing something else. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, why? I have declared outside. This is 0. I'm doing increment, count is count plus 1. Having this error. This is it. But it skips the 2. So let's say this code is wrong. I see. I have 5. It's just the exact same. What if I do for 3? What am I skipping? So look, let's change this to 3. 0, 1, 2. Oh, you know what? There's some issue which is happening. Either this is not compiling. Let's do Java. Let's remove this. Let's first compile it, because now if that for shouldn't come unreachable. Java say test out Java. Okay, and now for unreachable. Why is it for unreachable? Which is unreachable? And why? Let's get rid of this. And this enable. Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this it's 4. Let's even delete this also. Is something. Let's format this. Format. But this shouldn't matter, right? Problems 9. What are the problems? What is this is there? Why is now this? What's happening here? Syntax error insert. But I have removed this. Oh, this has to be. There's something which is not And let's do a dry run. So this is 0. This is going to be 0. I'm going to print count 0. And then I'm going to make it 1. Yeah, for the next iteration. This is fine. I don't know. Am I still getting that power unreachable? Which power is unreachable? So when I come, so suppose this becomes 1, then I have count is 1 because this is still retained here, right? This is 1, then I have 2, then it's after some, this is going to retain the previous, I don't know why. This should work. What's the output for this? So what's the output which is going to get? 0, 1, 2. What's the difference here? And even that had the count outside, right? So what's the difference between this and this? Count is outside. Yeah, it's not retaining. So what if I want 0, 1, 2? What if I want to do this? So now I have count, then that's 3. Increment number to print, I don't know. Let's only check this. What does this print? 0, 1, almost correct. It will, what pattern is it generating? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's true. I don't know why I'm getting a different. I mean, second is count plus plus. Oh, just to count plus plus. Uh, 0, 1, but still I'm getting an error. Mm. So the problem in the code is count to this print. So what I can do is, it's the same. Int is outside. Mm, let's do Java Online Compiler. Let's get this thing. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then now let's test this code. So copy code and then yeah, it's here. This is also going to give me the same result only. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how to retain this? Initially it's correct. Then for the next I have it should be done here, I guess. I feel it should be outside. What if I change this? Change the location to here. I feel, but then I will increment it for the second time. That's because if I do it, I'll get an error here. Just say 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. There has to be some relation between I and j. This I equal to j, I is 0, j is, oh I get, it has to be, let this start with -1 and this be I plus 1. Then I is going to get printed. Then in the next iteration, this is going to get 1. So you come to there is some mistake. The count was been incremented. This is the wrong code. 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 pattern in Java. No, it's necessary. I need 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now what is my output? I need 0. I have final output. If you are a bit more, the printing system has print method. This is not print on your line. You can chain in. If I say 0, 1, 0. Oh, so this is C. What is it doing? It has a 2D matrix. 0, 1, 2, and then 2, 3, 4. Oh, so what he's doing is he's saying oh, so this is how he's using the 2D matrix thing. So I have so I have how many rows? 1, 2, 3, and then each row is it's going to be I plus j. So 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 plus 1. Yeah, is you'll have to use a 2D matrix the way this is. Okay, I got it. What it's trying to do here? This won't work. It will be an error. I need 2D matrix to do this thing. So this is triangle. Now it should give me what? No, instead of. No, I need that thing as well, right? Okay, so single lines are no need to have. Just do a sys out here, probably. Oh, you're saying how to utilize. That's a nice problem, though. Mm, I'm. What am I doing? So where is my sys out? There has to be something to print. It's only printing something. Wait, come here, come here. I have to add something to print here. So this is out of that array, I guess. This is out. Triangle I J. Let's see. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now there is something else. Since I want this in a more triangular format, right? Let's format this. Format document. So this is, but it's 10 printing on next. So I have 0, I have 0, and then this space. What if I remove this? Whatever this comment, it will be on one line. 0, 1. So I have, this is null, right? Let's have 0. Where is this 1 coming from? Oh, this is null. And then am I declaring anything? 120, 120. Oh, this is out. This is going to print null. This is going to print 1. Let's get rid of this thing. And then let's have this. Yeah, this is how it is. 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. But I don't need the printing to happen. So this has to print on the same line until I get here. I need to add this. So how should I put printing on the same line? Look. I have to how to print on the same line in. I don't want the cursor to go down. So when I do this, it's hello space. Oh. What is he saying is just have a sys out here. Sys out. Let's see. This is going to have, and there is something I need for the lines as well, right? One loop that is going to control that K thing. And I've got the output, but then this has to be on the same line, so the spacing has to be controlled. Like, don't shift the line until I'm. How should I control that? To expand. Your final output should look similar to this. Do you want to complete the line? So if I have an hello space triangle, it is going to come on the next, on the same line by default. So if I do this out, why mine is coming on different line? Provided that is a string he's saying. Oh, so let's put this a string. I want a string to come out. Let's see now. Change this to string. The next has to have a space and triangle, and then they are connected. So the next time when I come here, okay. Oh, it's not taking the value. You see now, even now it's not on the same line. So if I have this out, say I do hello. Let's do it over here and check what's. Let's do this out. Hello. 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 Then I have a this out. Yeah, this coming on the. Come on the top. No, this is still on the next line. So, I mean, is this. Try arranging the output in the visual triangle. The statement prints on line by itself. So now we need to have a loop that checks for the spacing and does not shift the line. So I'm going to have another loop over here. Yeah, there's going to be one more loop. And one more loop such that they print on the same line. Let's see if it gives me something good. I don't want it to be on the next. Okay, this is what I need to add. So you have something like plus and concatenated with. Let's see if this is working. Oh, this is instant. This get this thing out. This is no, it's still coming on the next. Does that zero hello? No, this is not the correct print value and space. And then oh, why am I doing this? Is going to put it on the empty line. So 0 and 2, but then I'm not still getting the triangle form. Activity code is buggy. Run. One parenthesis extra. 0, 1, 2. Remove hello. I press J. Then come out of that loop. Yeah, I came out of that loop. And it is still not getting this output. Why? This is bug. This is not right. Copy. See, it's still printing on the. Have a loop that controls the printing as well. What if I try to add a loop here? Loop so that the printing does not go to the next line. I don't want this thing to the next line, that's what. There is some bug. So after I have this iteration, it should, but by default it does not do that. So this is first as you go to assign the value and then have a loop to print out those values. That's what he's trying to do. This is something. So this is all printed now. It's checking the printing thing. But it's the same, right? Oh, this is the perfect code. So you have first, yeah, you first generate that array. Yeah, this is like a shortcut thing, right? Just store the stars in the array, in the multi-dimensional array. I never thought of this. This is a very good way. Time complexity still remains the same though. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this. And then the next will be starting with classes. Okay, that's all for this lecture. See you in the next one, guys. Thanks. Bye bye. Take care.